Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English with Confidence, the podcast where we help you improve your English through real, everyday conversations.
That's right. I'm Smith.
And I'm Enna. And today, this is such a good topic, we're talking about bad habits.
Yes, and I think we both have a few of those, right, Enna?
Maybe just a few. But before we get into the conversation, I want to remind everyone, as you listen, pay attention to the vocabulary, the phrases, and the expressions we use. We'll explain them as we go.
Exactly. So you're not just learning about habits, you're learning how to talk about habits in natural, everyday English. That's the goal.
All right, let's dive in.
Okay, Enna. So let's start at the beginning. What is a bad habit, exactly?
Great question. So, a habit is something you do regularly, almost automatically, without thinking about it. You just do it.
Right, like brushing your teeth in the morning. That's a habit. A good habit.
Exactly. But a bad habit is something you do regularly that is not good for you. Or maybe it's not good for the people around you.
Okay, so can you give us some examples?
Sure. Some very common bad habits are biting your nails, staying up too late, eating too much junk food, spending too much time on your phone, procrastinating, which means delaying things you should do. Oh, procrastinating, that's a big one. I am guilty of that.
Wait, guilty? That's a great expression. Did everyone hear that? Smith said, I am guilty of that. In English, when you say you are guilty of something, it means you admit that you do it. It's like saying, yes, I do that. That's me.
Yes, I confess. I procrastinate a lot.
And I think most people do. So don't worry, listeners. You're in good company.
Okay, so now we know what a bad habit is, but here's the big question. Why do we have bad habits in the first place?
Ooh, that's a deep one. Let's talk about it.
So, Smith, why do you think people develop bad habits?
I think a lot of it comes down to stress. When we feel stressed, we look for something that makes us feel good, fast. And sometimes that thing is not very healthy.
That is so true. Like when I'm really stressed, I want to eat chocolate or scroll through my phone for an hour instead of working.
Exactly. And there's actually a word for this. It's called a coping mechanism. A coping mechanism is anything you do to deal with stress or difficult emotions.
Right. And some coping mechanisms are healthy, like going for a walk or talking to a friend. But some are unhealthy, like overeating or avoiding your problems.
So bad habits often start as a way to feel better, but over time they just become automatic.
Yes, and that's the tricky part. Scientists say that habits are stored in a part of the brain that works automatically. So even when we want to stop a bad habit, our brain still tells us to do it.
Wow. So it's not just about willpower?
Not entirely, no. And this is really important for our listeners to understand. A lot of people feel bad about their bad habits. They think, I just need to try harder. But it's more complicated than that.
Okay, so what is the right approach? How do we actually break a bad habit?
That's exactly what we're going to talk about next. But first, let's do a quick vocabulary check. Enna, can you review some of the key words and phrases we've used so far?
Absolutely. Okay, let's go through them.
A habit is something you do regularly, almost without thinking. For example, waking up early is a good habit.
To procrastinate means to delay doing something, especially something important. For example, stop procrastinating and finish your homework.
When you say you are guilty of something, you admit you do it. For example, I'm guilty of checking my phone too much.
A coping mechanism is what you do to deal with stress or hard feelings. For example, exercise is a healthy coping mechanism.
Willpower is the ability to control your behavior and resist temptation. For example, breaking a bad habit takes a lot of willpower.
Great. And I want to add one more phrase, in the first place. Enna used this earlier. She said, why do we have bad habits in the first place?
Yes, in the first place means to begin with or originally. You use it when you're asking about the original reason for something. Like, why did I start this bad habit in the first place?
Perfect. Okay, now let's talk about how to break those bad habits.
All right, so let's get practical. We're going to share some really useful tips for breaking bad habits. And of course, we'll explain the English along the way.
Tip number 1, identify your triggers.
Okay, let's explain this. A trigger is something that causes you to do your bad habit. It could be a feeling, a situation, or even a time of day.
For example, I used to bite my nails whenever I watched a stressful movie. The movie was my trigger.
That's a great example. So the first step is to ask yourself, what triggers my bad habit? Is it stress, boredom, a certain place, a certain person? Once you know your trigger, you can start to anticipate it, which means to expect it before it happens.
And when you know it's coming, you can prepare. You can choose a different response.
Exactly. So step 1, identify your triggers.
Tip number 2, replace the bad habit with a good one.
This is so important. Experts say you can't just stop a bad habit. You have to replace it with something else.
Right, because your brain is used to getting a reward from the bad habit. So you need to give it a different reward, a healthier one.
For example, if your bad habit is eating junk food when you're stressed, you could replace it with drinking a glass of water or going for a short walk. And I actually did this. I replaced scrolling through social media before bed with reading a book. It took a few weeks, but now reading before bed feels natural.
That's amazing, Smith. So the key phrase here is replace bad habit with good habit. For example, I replaced drinking soda with drinking water. She replaced watching TV all night with going to the gym.
Practice that structure, everyone. It's very useful.
Tip number 3, start small.
Oh, I love this one. A lot of people try to make huge changes all at once, and then they fail and they feel terrible.
Right. Instead, start small. Make tiny changes, because small changes are easier to stick to.
There's actually a great phrase in English. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Oh, yes. Don't bite off more than you can chew. This is an idiom. It means don't try to do more than you can handle. Don't take on too much at once.
For example, he tried to quit sugar, caffeine, and junk food all in the same week. He bit off more than he could chew.
That sounds exhausting. So start small, take it one step at a time.
Tip number 4, be patient with yourself.
This is so important and honestly so hard for a lot of people.
Right, because we want results immediately. We want to change and never look back.
But breaking a habit takes time. Research shows it can take anywhere from 21 days to 66 days to form a new habit. So don't give up after 1 week.
And here's a key phrase, fall off the wagon. Have you heard this one?
Yes! To fall off the wagon means to go back to a bad habit after trying to stop. For example, I was trying to quit smoking, but I fell off the wagon last weekend.
So if you fall off the wagon, don't give up. Just get back on track.
And speaking of that, another great phrase, get back on track. It means to return to the right path after a mistake. For example, I missed the gym for 2 weeks, but I got back on track this Monday.
Love that. Okay, our 5th and final tip?
Tip number 5, tell someone about your goal.
Oh yes, accountability. This is a powerful one. Accountability means being responsible for your actions and having someone who checks on you. When you tell a friend or family member about your goal, you feel more motivated to keep going.
Because you don't want to disappoint them or feel embarrassed.
Exactly. It's called an accountability partner, someone who supports you and keeps you on track. For example, I asked my sister to be my accountability partner while I try to quit coffee.
And honestly, it really works. There's something powerful about saying your goal out loud to another person.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do a quick recap of our 5 tips.
All right, everyone, here are the 5 tips we talked about.
Number 1, identify your triggers. Know what causes your bad habit.
Number 2, replace the bad habit with a good one. Give your brain a healthier reward.
Number 3, start small. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Number 4, be patient with yourself. If you fall off the wagon, get back on track.
Number 5, tell someone about your goal. Use an accountability partner.
Great tips. And all of them apply not just to habits, but to learning English too.
Oh, that's true. Learning a language is also about forming good habits, like practicing every day, listening to podcasts, speaking out loud,
And being patient with yourself when you make mistakes.
Exactly. The process is the same. Small steps, consistency, patience.
Okay, let's do something a little different. Let's have a real conversation, the kind you might have with a friend, using all the vocabulary we've learned today.
Great idea. I'll start.
So, Smith, have you ever successfully broken a bad habit?
Actually, yes. I used to be terrible at waking up on time. I'd hit the snooze button like 5 times every morning.
Oh no! So, what was your trigger?
Honestly, staying up too late. That was the root of the problem. So I decided to fix that habit first, going to bed earlier. Smart. You went to the source of the problem. Exactly. I started going to bed just 15 minutes earlier each week. Small changes.
And did it work?
Mostly. I mean, I definitely fell off the wagon a few times, especially on weekends.
That's very relatable.
But I got back on track. And now waking up early actually feels okay. Not terrible, at least.
That's a win. What about you, Enna? Any bad habits you've tried to break?
Oh, great question.
Stop. Okay, yes. My big one was checking my phone first thing in the morning, like before I even got out of bed.
Oh, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Right? It became this automatic thing. Wake up, grab phone, scroll for 30 minutes. And I'd feel stressed and distracted before my day even started.
So what did you do?
I told my friend about it. She became my accountability partner. And I started charging my phone in another room, so I couldn't even reach it first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's clever. Remove the temptation entirely.
Yes! And I replaced the habit. Instead of reaching for my phone, I started drinking a glass of water and stretching for 5 minutes.
Wow, that sounds healthy.
It really is. And once I stopped checking my phone first thing, my mornings felt so much calmer. I was in a better mood, more focused.
So removing the trigger, charging the phone in another room, made a huge difference.
Huge. Sometimes the environment makes all the difference.
All right, let's wrap things up with a final review of all the useful expressions and phrases from today's episode.
Yes, let's go through them.
Repeat after us if you can. That's great speaking practice.
Number 1,
I'm guilty of that. Meaning, I admit I do that. That's something I'm responsible for. Example, eating too much sugar? I'm guilty of that.
Number 2,
In the first place. Meaning, to begin with, originally. Example, why did I start this habit in the first place anyway? Number 3, don't bite off more than you can chew. Meaning, don't take on more than you can handle. Example, start with one small change. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Number 4, fall off the wagon. Meaning to return to a bad habit after trying to stop. Example, he fell off the wagon last month, but he's trying again.
Number 5, get back on track. Meaning, return to the right path after a mistake. Example, I missed a week of exercise, but I'm getting back on track.
Number 6, accountability partner. Someone who supports you and helps you stay responsible. Example, my coworker is my accountability partner for our fitness goals.
Number 7, trigger. Meaning something that causes a specific reaction or behavior. Example, stress is my trigger for eating junk food.
And number 8, take it one step at a time. Deal with things slowly and gradually, not all at once. Example, don't rush. Just take it one step at a time.
All right, here's your challenge for this week, listeners.
Yes, we want you to think of one bad habit you have. Just one.
Then write down or say out loud. 1. What is the habit? 2. What is your trigger? 3. What could you replace it with?
And if you have a friend who also wants to practice English, tell them about your goal. Make them your accountability partner. You'll be practicing your English and working on your habits at the same time. Double win. Exactly. 2 birds, 1 stone. Ooh, 2 birds, 1 stone. That's another idiom. It means solving 2 problems with 1 action. Did you all catch that? 2 birds, 1 stone. Bonus expression of the day.
All right, that's all for today's episode of Speak English with Confidence. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We really hope today's episode helped you learn some new vocabulary and gave you some useful ideas for your daily life. Remember, learning English is a habit, too. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. So keep listening, keep speaking, and don't give up. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below, and share this podcast with someone who wants to improve their English. We read all your comments, and we love hearing from you. So tell us, what's a bad habit you are trying to break? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and speak English with confidence. See you next time, everyone.